You're making one right decision today. You're listening to Handcuffs and Sage.
Three badass moms bringing you all the true crime and paranormal your heart desires.
I'm Red.
I'm Timo.
I'm Dre. And don't let your kids listen. Seriously, just don't.
Hey everyone, welcome to Handcuffs and Sage and our Down the Rabbit Hole episodes. This
Yay!
is Timo.
This is Red.
Oh!
This is Rock.
And Dre's here too.
Hey,
This is
Jay.
Hey.
A little bit.
That was Rock doing his little sound effects thing. That's so weird. I don't know how you do that.
I know,
That's-
do it again.
That's the Down the Rabbit Hole theme song.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a whistle and a hum at the same time.
Really? How are you doing that?
It's like tractor beam, suck me right in.
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
Yeah, we
I'm
did
gonna
it.
work on that.
Seriously, that's some
You
good
just
stuff
you just
right
hum. You just hum with your whistle lips ready, and then like let the whistle naturally come out.
I
Oh.
can't whistle.
Oh, I'm not
Are
gonna
we
do it
all
right
gonna
now,
try
but
it?
I'll practice.
You're
I'm
You're
not
gonna
gonna
have
do
to
it right
start
now.
there.
I can't do it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna make a fool of myself. I'll practice later and then show you guys up. Okay, can we get to the I'm so excited about this. Can we get to the riddle? Did you guys figure out the riddle? I think I figured it out.
Okay. So I asked all my coworkers, and
That's
we
cheating.
had listeners message Instagram. So thank you.
Mhm.
Shout out to you with the answers, and they were right. Who knows if they Googled it, but I'm going to believe our listeners
I didn't even see
are
those
honest.
on Instagram. I didn't even see the answers. Cool. Okay. So you know,
on top
since you-
of it. Okay.
Since you read those, then you know, right?
I know what it is.
Okay. So Rock,
Is it?
Rock, do you
Oh,
know
it's not-
Rock?
It's not
Rock,
guest
Rock.
time yet.
Do you know Rock?
Yeah. So something I do twice a week and once a month and once a year is change my underwear.
That is correct. Did
Is that-
everyone
that is
get
it.
underwear?
Okay, this is my guess. I don't think it's right, but this is my guess. Is it the letter E?
Yep.
Yay!
The letter E.
Yay!
Okay.
You all right?
Okay.
Good job, everybody.
Right
Good
on.
riddle,
Yeah.
good riddle.
It was like
All
right
right.
in front of my face the whole time too, like in the words. Wow, that's terrible.
For real.
Well, I figured it out by writing it out. Like I Skyped my coworkers, like this is the riddle.
Smart.
And as I
Smart.
wrote it out, I thought, oh, I know what the answer is now.
Yeah.
I guess I'm a visual
So shout
person.
out-
I don't know.
Shout
That
out
was fun.
to Hilda because she's listening and she listens to everything because I told her to.
Hi, Hilda.
Hey,
Love,
what's up?
love you,
What's
Hilda.
Love
Hey,
you,
Hilda. Loved your little iTunes review. It was super sweet. Thank you,
Aw,
girlfriend.
Thank you. Does she like box wine like I do at 10:30 at night after a long day of work?
Probably.
That's not
She
the
like-
Moscato from Miss Amy, is it?
No,
It is.
not.
This one is.
Oh, that
This
one
one
is.
This
Okay.
one is from Costco.
Excellent. Is it-
Excellent.
Is it Botafox? Franzia? What is it?
It's a Pinot Grigio.
Love. That's my favorite white.
Mm.
It's a Pinot Grigio.
This is
Oh.
all the way from India.
Oh,
Bombay.
very fancy,
Bombay,
Rob.
Bombay.
You got some. What is that
Gin.
called?
It's
What is
gin.
it called?
Gin. Bombay.
Gin
Oh,
and,
sembang.
gin and
Bang.
bang.
too.
Bang,
Yeah, it's
bang.
lemon drop
I-
flavored. It's
I
really good.
love
You're
that
drinking a
flavor.
Bang right
I
now?
love it.
I don't know how you're doing
Yeah.
that. How do you sleep?
I just drank a Red
I
Bull.
sleep like a
tokes.
rock. No pun intended.
He tokes it up.
I'll probably be up till like 1:30 building RC cars, and then when
Sure.
I start grabbing the wrong parts and I feel delirious, I go in and I just crash.
It's
My
bedtime.
thing is like I go until I'm exhausted, and as soon as I lay down, I fall right asleep.
Yeah.
If
I do
start,
the same thing. I will go until I'm out. Done.
Yeah.
and then you're too tired to think about anything. You just fall asleep.
Yep.
Oh,
You just no more energy. So that's my trick. I sleep for like 5 to 6 solid hours, and then I take a few naps a week, which are my favorite thing in the world when I can. When the kids.
Oh, I don't get to nap. Oh God, napping sounds amazing.
not very often.
Yeah. Okay, where did Dre go?
You guys
Hold
ready?
up.
Are you guys ready for this topic?
I'm here.
She's there.
Okay,
She just
so let's talk about
switched.
what the topic is. We are covering chemtrails this week. Woo!
Woo.
Chemtrails! So exciting.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
So
Bananas.
I really had to look and get into this because I really don't know much about it. So, Rock, I want you to be the leader here and kind of
Let's do it.
take
You ready? All right.
So-
You ready to start off with the bang?
Should we start off, Rock, by
Start off with the
saying
bang?
you are definitely one-sided on this topic, correct?
Well, I'm not one-sided, but this is one topic where I definitely believe there is a conspiracy against the
Well, that's
the
one-sided,
people.
dude.
Yeah, but it's not because it's so complex. So
It is.
It is.
one-sided would, yeah,
complex.
one-sided I guess would be if I thought that it was all happening to poison everybody, and that they're spraying anthrax in the air to poison. That's not what I think.
Okay.
But I
So
think
not anthrace. I'll write that down. Not
not
anthrax. Okay.
All right. I was
So,
gonna
do you
totally
have,
play. I was totally gonna play like the devil's advocate because I'm like, okay, I'm gonna like friggin' fight Rock to the bitter end on this. I'm gonna be like throwing shit at you, and then like through my whole notes, I came across something, and I'm like, oh fuck, now,
Right?
Oh, you mean like
now,
what did you uncover the government patents for weather
No.
modification in your? No, okay.
there
Got it.
is because like,
I did.
a lot
Yeah.
of the
There's
shit
a lot.
that I-
There's a lot.
Yeah,
There's
but
probably
a lot of the stuff that I was coming up with was like 2017, 2000 this, and I'm like, I want to be fucking right now, 2020, and I found something from March 2020. It's a YouTube video,
Okay.
and it like just blew me away. I don't want to talk about it right now because
Okay.
let's just get
You
into
wanna
it.
work into it.
Yeah, because
So,
it'll
Okay.
just be like, okay, we're done now, bye. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
Can we just talk about like really quick? I want to give like a couple of definitions just so that our listeners know where we started and where we're gonna go, right?
Yes.
So
Sure.
I don't even know what I watched because I watched so much shit, guys. But I do have three simple definitions, right? So you hear contrails, right? Contrails are
yes.
basically just the water vapor behind airplanes, right?
The condensation.
It's what happens
Mhm.
when the condensation leaves a trail in the air. It's just water vapor. It's very benign.
Yes.
Then you have a persistent contrail that happens when the same contrail happens when the air is very cold, but also extremely humid. So there's a lot of water in the air already.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
it's able to kind of float longer. And then you have a chemtrail when that can only happen when when the air is very warm and dry. So there's no humidity, there's no water already in the air. These are very
So
different.
it must be something like, you ever been to an air
Right.
show, guys? You ever been to an air
Mhm.
show?
Right.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Not
and some of
me.
the stunt planes some of them don't leave a trail, and some of them will leave a trail and paint the sky, and it's cool, and the kids like, hey, look. So that,
Mhm.
I don't know, that's called chaff. And chaff, CHAFF, is
Mhm.
just like some aerosol, probably mixed
Right.
with some pixie dust, just to make everything look pretty. And chaff is used for various different reasons, a lot of military exercises, but it's also used for air shows and just to make the jets look cool. It's basically if an air show, a jet is only 500 to 1,000 feet in the air going by the audience,
Right.
and they still leave a trail. It looks really cool to the audience.
Right, it's
When in
purposely
fact,
done. It's not accidental.
Yeah,
Like
yeah. So
what
like
they say,
most,
like most contrails
most-
are an
so
accidental
most like
byproduct.
actual contrails, I agree that there are actual contrails, and they happen at 30 to 50,000 feet in the air. They're on the big jetliners going
Correct.
super far. So the reason they go high up is because they're going way long distance, like New York to Honolulu. And yes, humid, cold days. So what happened to me was I didn't even ever really think or give two shits about chemtrails, contrail. Like I never cared, right? But you guys know I got into the air conditioning career, and so
Mhm.
most air conditioners, when I used to do commercial work, are all on the rooftops. So I started to spend a lot of time on rooftops, and you know me, I got a lot going on in my brain. I got a lot of things I'm always thinking about. So I can never just sit still and do my job. I always have to look around, you know, smell the flowers, see what's going on in the sky, look at the horizons. Like I'm always just aware of my surroundings. I don't wear headphones. I never wear headphones bopping to my music. Like I like to be alert. If someone's going to run up behind me, I want to know what's going on. So maybe it comes in part of just being a dad and looking out for my crew, you know, stuff like that. But what I did notice is, probably about 6-7 years ago, is I started noticing the planes and the little trails and here and there at certain days, and certain days with different weather, some humid, some dry, some hot, some cold, all different types of weather. I was starting to notice trails that I would watch the forecast because I'm outside on the roof all day. So I want to know if it's hot, sunny, sunscreen, what, you know, long sleeve shirt, what do I got to do? And I would always see the forecast, and a lot of times partly cloudy today, mostly cloudy today. So I wake up in the morning, hop on the roof, and I would notice trails going across. And about 6-7 years ago, I started to notice certain trails were lingering longer. You know, just like when I was a kid, the only trails I saw were like here and there, like, and we'd always think it was a jet. We didn't know if it was a jet plane or we just like, a jet, guys, look, right? And so it was very random, and we were always outside my whole childhood. So it was just very seldom that you would see that, and it was always cool because we're like a rocket, a jet, like we don't know what it is, but it's cool. And then as an adult, I just started noticing these trails, and not every day, but certain days they would linger, and there would be the same paths, like the same left to right, big long streaks, and then they would linger, and they would slowly kind of sag, slowly come down, and then they would just like mist and grow. And then before you know it, so this might be, say it might start happening like 7-8 o'clock in the morning, you start seeing it. By 10:30, 11, the whole entire sky would be white, and it would be like an overcast day, but not quite overcast, just white, like not that hot because the sun is kind of being blocked. And I'd be like, this is so weird, because, and here's where I started to kind of try to put it together before I dove into the actual research, and it gets really deep, but just on the surface, I started saying, okay, so all the newscasters are saying it's a partly cloudy day, like a cold front coming in, blah, blah, blah. What they never say is that the sky's going to be white today because of all the contrails are going to evaporate and mist and turn and cover the sky with white. They would never, ever, ever, ever mention that, hey, the overcast is from the planes, you know, contrail. Like it's almost not even really talked about much, unless the only time you hear the word contrail is if the word chemtrails brought up, because that's the rebuttal. Chemtrail, contrail, chemtrail, contrail, right? So I started looking into that and just saying like, oh, that's so weird. Like, and now I'm at the point where I think all mainstream media is a complete puppet show, and that the only news you see is that news that was created for you to see, right? So I don't trust any mainstream news. I don't care, CNN, Fox News, doesn't matter, left, right, middle. I don't trust any of it. I think it's all just for their best interest, not ours. So the things that get covered create hate, they create division, blah, 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 blah. I don't like any of it. I hate it. So I started to say, well, why are we getting told about this, you know, partly cloudy, but we're not being told that it's from airplane? And I was physically watching with my eyes daily, and even taking pictures of it starting out, and then by lunch the whole sky's white, and it's a dry day, it's a humid day, it's a cold day, it's a hot day, all different weather. And it wasn't, and so what they say is that a contrail happens at 80 to 100% humidity. Now at 40,000 feet, humidity and weather is a lot different than it is down here. So I'll never really know. I don't have a barometer, you know, I don't know what the hell's going on up there. I just know that it was different from me growing up. When I was growing up, I would never see planes crisscross the whole sky and it become white. And so, but there's a lot of variables. Like when I was growing up, there wasn't as many planes as there is now. So one thing I did, as I dove down the rabbit hole, was I downloaded an app for my phone called Flight Radar 24, where you can watch live aircraft all over the world. Every plane in the sky, for the most part, is on this radar.
That's so cool. I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah.
Does it identify? Does it identify the type of plane?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that. So
it says this is Southwest 547 or whatever.
Correct.
Okay.
So what I started noticing patterns, and what I started noticing is that many of the planes that were leaving trails were passenger of Southwest, United Airlines, and many of them were minimum 35,000 feet up to about 45,000. Not too much higher than that. It was very rare when I would see anything above 50,000 feet. And so I'm like, okay, it's probably pretty fucking cold up there. It's like Mount Everest, 50,000 feet, you know, it's up there. So that didn't really trigger anything. And then what I did notice, a lot of these trails from Southwest and United, they would come and go, and they would evaporate and they would disappear, and they would kind of just, and then it would be sunny again. It wouldn't turn into clouds. And then once I got the app, it was pretty exciting, because I felt like MacGyver. I was like, ooh, there's an airplane. Check it out. And so I pull out my phone.
You're so cool, Rock.
Yeah, so I pull out my phone, and the cool thing about the app is you can tell, like, if say there's 3 planes flying overhead, if you're familiar with our town and where you're at in comparison to the freeways, as soon as you look at that map, you know, okay, there's that one. You could see them on the map. And a lot of times it'd be like, say, a plane going from New Mexico to Honolulu, and it just happens to pass right over Santa Clarita, or New York to fucking Australia, happens to pass over like different angles that happen to make sense. And so long story short, I started noticing that some planes were just belting out this thick, white, creamy clouds, for lack of a better word, sorry. And so I was like, what the hell's going on? So anytime I noticed like a thick trail, I would go on and check my phone right away. And then this is when it started getting tricky. I would notice that all the thick, super trails that would turn into clouds and evaporate, all the planes were blocked on the flight radar. So not every aircraft is available to the public. Most, like United Airlines, all the big major passenger jets pop right up on there. But like, say, private aircraft, like someone owns a Cessna and he's a private pilot. Actually, even a lot of private jets pop up, even like little biplanes, they pop up. And the cool thing about the app is it shows you a picture of the plane, and it tells you a little information. And it's almost like a database. So it's really neat in that sense. You can see exactly, like, you could be like, oh, that's a huge fucking plane. And then I'd click on it and it'd be an Airbus going from like Australia to New York or whatever. So
I think it's really interesting.
You can't.
Yeah, what's that?
I'm guessing that you can't see any military planes on that app.
So yeah, exactly. So military planes do not come up as they come up as blocked, and it might say, it'll have a picture that looks like a C-130 and it'll just say blocked, or it just says blocked in general with no description of the plane. So one thing I did notice is that many of the trails, of the thick trails, were blocked planes. Not all of them, but many of them. So then what I see and what my phone tells me, you can only get so far. I started looking and researching what is chemtrails actually, when it comes down to, you know, what is it called in the scientific term? And then you get to a whole nother topic where you talk about solar geoengineering and solar radiation management. And so, you know, one of the biggest things we face, the biggest catastrophes we face, according to our, you know, leaders in politics and media, is human caused climate change. And so everybody kind of is starting to agree, except for today and tomorrow because the weather's so beautiful, but the globe is warming up. There's a lot of talk that, you know, the oceans are going to rise from the ice caps melting, and eventually beachfront property is going to be, you know, scarce. Right. I'm not buying that, because everybody knows beachfront property holds its value. No one's selling their, you know, oceanfront condos. So maybe in 10,000 years, I don't know. I just don't think that humans are going to raise the ocean level the way they preach it, because they want to change our lifestyle and change our carbon footprint. I don't always think all that's bad, but I don't buy it all. Anyways, side rabbit hole, sorry.
Side note, if you're interested in solar.
Yeah, so solar geoengineering in the science field is a very, you know, hot topic right now, and it's basically where they're passing around ideas and tests, and they're actually already testing. Testing began in on the books, testing began in 2019. I believe that it's been going on since World War II. So basically, they're thinking of ideas of, okay, how can we block the sun from heating up the globe? So
Right.
maybe, you know, and the whole, this is what drives me nuts about the whole thing. You have these scientists and the lab coats and the glasses. They sound so smart, right? And you have all
And
this,
their degrees.
and they are, and you know, yeah, their
God.
degrees, yeah. So you know they are smart, but then when you look into this topic, they say things like, well, you know how like when a volcano erupts, like we had a volcano erupt once, and all the smoke and cloud covered the skies for months and months, and it actually cooled the planet a little bit, like not 3 degrees or blah blah blah. And so they start talking about, oh, volcano cooled the planet, and then they're like, oh, so we want to test solar geoengineering, and they kind of just they just leak to the like how they would do it. And like someone in the audience will ask a professor, well, what do you think about doing this? Like, well, you know, we're proposing different tests, whether it be from a weather balloon or possibly an aircraft. And then it's like, well, put on the brakes. You mean a weather balloon? You're going to send fucking Benjamin Franklin up in a weather balloon and release, you know, a teaspoon of you know, barium and strontium and aluminum dust to see if it blocks the sun? No. The only way you could actually block the sun is going to be with aircraft, and it's going to be with some big fucking tanks and big nozzles spraying, which planes have. So let me rewind a little bit, and sorry for not giving any space for anyone to hop in.
Rock, you're rude. No, I'm just kidding.
That's rude.
We're
That's
listening.
rude.
We're
Yeah.
listening.
Yeah,
We're taking it in.
and guess what?
I
That
know.
ain't gonna stop us. We'll
No,
jump
no.
in.
There you
We'll
go.
jump in. I'll be like, hey,
We're like rabid dogs.
That is
So,
correct. That is
let
correct.
me rewind a little bit. In
Yes.
World War II, even in the Vietnam War, for example, there was areas where there were landing strips where they would have very foggy mornings and nights, and they couldn't land their aircraft because the landing strip was too foggy. So one thing they did a long time ago was they took piping, and they ran miles and miles of piping down the runways, and they had like orifices or holes or something. I'm sure it was a little more complex than just holes, but they were pumping gas or you know, propane or whatever, probably natural gas, and they were lighting. Imagine like a burner for a furnace or an oven. You know, they were just lighting it on fire and setting these big long gas fires, and the heat would burn off the fog in the area.
Right,
So they'd get visibility for. So that was one of the first ways they started messing with the weather, because it affected war and things like that. Another thing they did in the Vietnam War was, and it's documented, is that we're kind of jumping to another topic without any preface, but they used weather modification in many wars to make clouds and make it rain, so that the enemy's roads would be swamped with water. They couldn't get around. So like all this weather modification has happened, is documented.
wait. They did this in Vietnam in the 70s?
Yes. Yeah, no, it started in before that. It started at World War II.
Oh my God.
Long time ago. But yeah, so the government has like thousands of patents on weather modification. They own the patents.
That is true.
Yeah. And you know, a lot of it's, well, we need to know, you know, because our militaries, and it's, you know, national issue of national security and blah blah blah. So we already know they can manipulate the weather. They can't control the weather. You know, they're not wizards, but they can manipulate it. And it's just such a hush topic that's not talked about. You know, the stuff that comes on the news is just so softball. There's really nothing there. If you want any good information about what makes the world turn, it's not going to come to you. You have to seek it out. You know, has always been one of my things that I push. But
there was a lot of interesting things that came up, and I'm right there with you, Rock. I was kind of blown away with what I found, because like I said, I really didn't know a lot. I really didn't. And when you were talking about how you just started to look up, right, and kind of notice, there was a video of Prince, the singer, who we all love and miss. We love you, Prince. He was on a talk show once, and he was saying the exact same thing, that one day he looked up and he kind of noticed right? The
Mm-hmm.
trails from the planes. And then what he also noticed is that when this would happen, that everyone in the neighborhood would start fighting with each other. And he felt like there was a link,
A connection.
right?
Sure.
There was a
Yeah,
connection. So when we
Damn.
hear about chemtrails, they're saying that, you know, some of the things that they're doing is weather modification, psychological manipulation, human population control. This causes respiratory illnesses, cancer, things like this, right? So a lot of scientists say, no, this is not a thing. But then you see reports come out like this one from the Air Force in 1996 coming out with this report about, you know, weather modification, like you were talking about, and how they wanted to own the weather by 2025. Right? If you own the weather, right?
Yeah, you
if
own
you
the world.
own the weather, you own the world.
Really?
Exactly.
And that just gave me chills, right?
Absolutely.
It just makes you go, ooh, you know. Of Americans, they believe in chemtrails. They do believe that something is going on there.
Yeah.
I was surprised by that. And I think somebody else mentioned Alex Jones. I watched that video.
Yeah, I did. And I had no clue about this dude. And he is
Alex Jones, you got to be
out
careful
of control. He's out of control, that guy.
I think part of the reason he's so abrasive and crazy is if you're too serious and pushing conspiracy theories and you have a following, you're going to get whacked, or, you know, some SUVs are going to follow you down a canyon, something like that. But if you're a goofball and crazy, you're going to instantly get dismissed by a lot of people. Like there's a ton of people who are like,
it up.
Exactly.
Exactly.
No,
this is the thing that he has built. He is expected to act this.
Yeah, you know who he reminds me of? Farley's character on SNL. The van down by the river. That's how I was picturing him the whole time I was listening to him. I know. Oh my God,
no,
that guy.
He does it like, it's almost like he's an actor, and he'll be like, "We're gonna grab the torch of liberty and shove it down these leftists' throat." Like, he gets like, so he's
a
pandering
personality
to kind of the base. At the same time, you can tell he's being sarcastic, and he's not a nitwit. He exposed Bohemian Grove years ago. I think we talked about that.
Oh, really?
And so
that was him.
He is, in the all true sense, a journalist who has put his reputation and life on the line for journalism. He's a little wild, though. Some of his views are pretty extreme. So not to say that he's good or bad. I'm just saying he is what he is. But you got to just take it with a grain of salt, because he's at a position now where it's the same thing with like Joe Rogan. These people have so many followers. I think they get a point where you're not getting the dirt anymore. So you have to always.
Yeah. I agree with that. You know, we talked about Joe Rogan.
Yeah,
we love Joe Rogan.
I loved good information. Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, I watched Joe Rogan too, and he made the point. He came straight out and said, "I'm a fucking idiot. I don't know anything about this shit." But then another dude that was on his panel basically said, whatever you say, your audience is going to fucking believe you, because he's so big and he has so many followers. So he really has to be careful on what he says. He's like, it's the shit I read off the internet and I kind of relay it, you know?
It's the same for us, right? We're so big now. We have to watch what we say.
But cult followers.
I have to say, I don't personally like Alex Jones. You know, there's things in the past that he's done or said or covered that I think
rubbed you the wrong way, for sure, right? And
maybe angered me a little. Maybe filled me with white hot rage. I don't know. Maybe that happened. But I want to bring up this story. This is really interesting. So let's talk about it. Okay. I read that the Army sprayed San Francisco here in our state in 1950 with a simulated germ warfare attack. They sprayed bacteria on San Francisco, and one man died.
That's crazy.
Did you hear about
That's it.
that?
That sounds like a pretty good test.
What was that? Was that?
Yeah, only one guy died. It's fine, you guys.
Did they call it something? Did people get sick and then they called it something?
They called it a simulated germ warfare attack. It happened.
That's insane.
Look at Agent Orange. You guys are
Yeah,
familiar with
that's a
that.
whole other one.
We,
Yeah.
you know, we have a history of spraying things out of planes. So don't let,
Mhm.
like, it's so funny that the deniers, and some of them, bless their hearts, because they're just going with their gut, their common sense, try to be positive. And it's like, you know, life is like a Luke Bryant song. I believe all people are good. You know, it's not that way, and we know it's not. But
Oh, we know. We work with guests and people all
yeah,
over the
and like I
world.
said before, a lot of the deniers and a lot of any conspiracy denier, their only facts are insults. So they just be like, you know, oh yep, they're spraying us with poison, you know. And it's funny. So it's funny.
What's that?
It makes the
That's so
conspiracy-
true.
It makes a conspiracy guy look dumb. So right away, it nips it in the butt. Let me just tell you something real side note about Alex Jones. I don't know if you remember Hillary Clinton when she was running for president and doing a lot of TV time. Alex Jones is absolutely anti-Hillary Clinton, right? Or at least he is on his show. So she goes on national TV multiple times, and she would say things like, the only people who would believe information like that is those people who follow Alex Jones. And
Mm.
it's pretty funny. Like, okay, why would you go out of your way to bash someone who watches Alex Jones if he wasn't a direct threat to you? So you just got to be careful. But anyways, yeah, that happened. And so, shit, where were we going with this? Because it was like,
Okay, so I do want to talk about what we absolutely know for sure, that there are things that come from an airplane that we for sure know are not good for us, right? So when a plane is up in the air, 35,000 feet, right? There is byproduct coming from that plane, right? So nitrogen oxide, sulfur gases, greenhouse gases, and those things do for sure cause cancer, respiratory illnesses, things like that. The fine particles hit ammonia in the air, it travels down to the earth, right? And it causes 8,000 deaths a year.
What?
Did you guys know that?
No.
Yeah,
Insane.
8,000 deaths a year, and it mostly comes from the northern hemisphere, but it comes downwind, and most of the deaths occur in India and China, where the population density is at a site, and there's higher ammonia in the air, which causes a bigger problem for these areas, and most of the people are dying are there. It's awful. I had no idea so many people died from this. And
yeah,
they only test planes at takeoff and landings. That there are no tests, right, from what's being done from up in the air. I thought that was very interesting too. Like, why wouldn't we know what's going on at this day and age? Do you know what I mean?
Here's another interesting thing. The people who fuel up the plane is a very compartmentalized, secretive little niche, and people don't have access to the fuel. Like, it's a very special little unit, because I know a few friends in the airline business, and actually I know a few air traffic controllers. And I didn't allude that I was going anywhere towards the chemtrails, because I know that could shut off the conversation real quick, because the way some people's mind works. So yeah, it's pretty wild. Another thing too is look at, and maybe Dre, you could shed some light on this. Look at all, and you know, there's a lot of, like, when older folks pass away or they're winding down, and say they test them after death, they're finding that they're filled with aluminum and mercury and all these heavy metals. And so the big chemtrail conspiracy is that this solar radiation management program, the geoengineering programs that are taking place already, they say it's like sodium bicarbonate and barium salts and strontium and all these, like, chemicals that no one knows what they are for the most part. But the main conspiracy is that no, that's probably not what they're spraying. There's probably aluminum, nanoparticle sized aluminum, because aluminum's very reflective, and if you're going to reflect the sunlight, you need something shiny. So a lot of people think that it's aerosols and aluminums. Now, all up and down, I follow a guy called geoengineeringwatch.org, and he spends most of his life trying to expose this. They've done soil tests, up Northern California, Southern California, and they're finding that the soil is like filled with aluminum and things that it shouldn't be in areas that it shouldn't. And it's a real touchy topic. So this guy who I follow went to a public speaking where a professor from Harvard, Professor David Keith, who speaks on solar geoengineering, he was there, and he's asked them some hardball questions and got some real good dodges, and these are on YouTube. You can find them. If you just research David Keith, you will get this creepy, weird little scientist dude who basically what he says is, look, when you talk about geoengineering, you have to outweigh the risks of not doing it with the risks of doing it. And he admits, this is almost verbatim, we don't know the risks of doing it because we haven't started yet. That's what they say. I don't believe that they haven't started. I believe it's like when they come out with the newest phone. It's been in the works for a while. They know exactly what they're doing, and now it's a release date. iPhone 11, iPhone 12. They got to plan it out, So,
do you guys know that that speaker Tony Robbins?
Oh yeah, I love that guy.
Yeah,
I thought this was really interesting. I listened to him a couple of years ago. He was talking about how he lives an extremely healthy lifestyle, right? He goes above and beyond with what he does for his health. And he went to a doctor and had all these tests run, and he was just expecting, like, you're perfect, right?
Right.
And it came back that he had like severe heavy metal poisoning and had to do like a certain diet because he had these
wow.
And he said that he went through this really long process, and then he felt like way better after going through this certain diet because of this heavy metals. And that was really the first time I think I heard about that. Dre, do you know anything about heavy metal poisoning?
Yeah, so I didn't know about it just because I'm a nurse, because that's not like really my specialty, but I did read that when they do release the chemicals in a certain area, that you'll have like your eyes are burning, you'll have shortness of breath, higher blood pressure, and then overall your immune system just goes down. Somebody even said, like, if you had like an emergency room doctor that knew about chemtrails, if he looked up in the sky, he would kind of like forecast, oh shit, we're gonna have a higher rate coming in. Yeah. And I mean, you put metals in the air and shit like that's gonna happen. It is like, it's not good for us. It's not good. Like, there's a reason that babies get tested for lead poisoning. We don't need metals in our bodies.
Wait. Babies, like newborn babies, or what?
No, not newborn. Like 2-year-olds, they get tested for lead poisoning because they want to make sure, like, I don't know if you guys ever remember this, but like in China, they had the red color. I remember the Thomas the Train back when Ricky was a baby.
Thomas
the Train. Remember that? It got.
I miss our kids being little.
Oh, was there like lead paint and certain toys and stuff like that, right? Yeah.
So what happens is, like, they chew on it, they put it in their hands and they touch their mouth, and then they get lead poisoning. But also the lead paint from before the 1970s or something.
Oh yeah. If you eat the walls in the 80s, lead poisoning.
If you eat it, I mean, kids would do that. Kids would like put their mouth on the windowsill and like people might paint their rooms like freaking 20 times, but they never touch that windowsill because it's just white and nobody fucking cares. Right.
Yeah.
But then that white might have lead in it. So you got to.
Is that where the expression, did you eat paint chips when you were a kid?
That's right.
You guys, we really are amazing. Lead paint, asbestos in our ceilings everywhere. Do you guys remember that?
I know, right?
Burning hot metal slides. You guys know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
We went through it all.
I know.
I was eating asbestos before I knew what asbestos looked like.
There you go.
Right? Yeah.
We were all eating it, and look at us. Look at us.
Can you imagine that, like, in your line of work, that you get exposed to it quite frequently?
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. I'm not even joking. Like, what asbestos in the HVAC world, looks very harmless. It looks like silver cardboard. Looks like cardboard, and it's corrugated just like cardboard. Yeah.
Okay.
So like as a youngster, when I was an apprentice, I would be ripping this shit out, breathing it in. Not a lot, not daily. Hopefully, I don't get mesothelioma.
I think it's affected you. I think that. I'm just kidding.
That explains everything.
That's what's happening.
All of it.
Sweet. I got a get out of jail free card. Well, so here's what I think, because I got tied up with the chemtrails for a little while, and I don't think I really, and I was preaching hard on social media, and it didn't really get me anywhere. So I realized I'm not going to go change people's views on social media. People just want to see your kids and your dogs. That's it. So, so I kind of backed out, and I'm kind of like I said, I want to be the guy who could just be like, I told you so. I told you they were out to get us, but it's all right, So
I wanted to be the guy.
Yeah, here's the question: is it in testing, or are they actually doing it? That you guys have seen the days where the whole sky is white. Some days it's on humid days, and some days it's not. It's just random. It's really hard to pin down. So are they doing it, or are they testing? And then the other question is the benefit of cooling the planet outweigh us breathing in toxic chemicals, which are falling down to the ground? They're falling down through the air column. So a lot of the chemtrail chasers or whatever, tornado chasers, they ask about certain trails linger for hours and hours and hours, and then they cover the sky and the sky's white. And when the news says it's going to be mostly cloudy today, well, it's mostly cloudy because of only planes. And so this is what I got to, is I've witnessed only planes cause a fully cloudy sky. I've many days. It's not like a cloud cover sneaks over from Ventura. I have witnessed the planes go back and forth. All of a sudden, it just conglomerates into a big milky white sky. It's white. Or have you ever had it where it's like slightly hazy and you see the big sun halo? Have you ever guys ever seen that? That's pretty crazy. Not too many of those when I was a kid. Very, very rare. I almost don't remember ever seeing something like that as a kid.
I grew up in Glendale, and I saw it every freaking day, because Glendale is like the melting pot of, it's horrible.
Smoggy,
It's so beautiful.
It's horrible.
I feel like if Kylie Jenner believes in chemtrails, I will believe in chemtrails, because she once tweeted that she feels like it has affected the decline in honeybees. So if she believes it, I believe it. I was reading an article also about farmers in the Midwest who have been collecting leaves. Did you guys read that? They've been collecting leaves and samples and things that are straight covered in like a silver mist. So anytime a plane comes over, and
it's crazy.
They're trying to be organic farmers, right? So they have to cover all their food. And then things that are on top of their coverings on the leaves, they hold it and they show it to you. It's like it's covered in this stuff. It's crazy.
Oh, that's not nice.
What was this? Let me go over this. So in 2010, a study done by MIT and NASA, which I can't even trust NASA at this point after all these episodes. It says that It says that airplane exhaust is responsible for 80% of deaths caused by aircraft emissions. So we know that a plane itself, right, without any whatever added, is bad for us.
It's bad for you already. Yeah, it's like
it's not good. It's not good.
But
that's why when all the climate change activists are flying from state to state to preach their fucking garbage, they're all taking jets and private jets. It's like, you know what? Let me know when you're on a train, and then I'll listen to your spiel, because
it's like modern day
Greta,
travel.
You just need to chill out, Greta.
We're weighing the good with the bad. Like, what are you going to do? You're going to get rid of travel, air travel? No. So it's like, in order for us to have air travel and love this luxury of being able to travel at high rates of speed all over the world, we're going to have to deal with we're going to have to deal exactly. Unfortunately, that's the way they look at it.
You guys, it's fun and free and easy, is download the Flight Radar 24 app. And
I'm absolutely going to do that.
yeah, it's easy and fun, and it's cool if you know anyone who's flying too. You can track their plane and see where they are, and it's pretty much live time. So here's the one interesting thing: when you say you're on California, as soon as you open up the app, say it'll be like zoomed in on your city. So you might only see 4, 5, 6 planes crossing through, whatever. If you zoom out and see all of Los Angeles County, you're like, wow, that's a lot of planes. Well, if you zoom out to see the United States, it looks like an anthill, and like these guys are piggybacked on top of each other. I mean, just planes everywhere. And as you zoom in, you realize they're not literally touching each other, but there's a lot of fucking planes up there, a lot. So
Weird.
It's so chaotic. It would be so easy to intermix, for the military industrial complex to say, hey, and here's how I would do it. If I was an evil henchman running the world, it's not like 10 planes doing it at once. It'd be 1 or 2 planes, and you'd pick an area, say Antelope Valley, a couple planes and a couple fueling stations at opposite ends of this thing, and you just run the same path. And here's another thing I noticed: on the windy days, you won't see trails. Okay, the weather has to be right. So this is my brain creating my own facts that could be complete bullshit, but this is what I think. When they go back, they'll go back and forth. It has to be on an almost not windy day or just a slight gentle breeze. So it'll look, when you look at the sky, as if a plane went and then another plane went just like, a couple lanes over, and then another plane went just a couple lanes over. But what I'm thinking is happening is it's the same plane or the same couple planes going back and forth in the exact same route, and the breeze just gently, like a typewriter, pushes that trail down. So all it would take is a couple commercial planes to cover the whole city. If the wind is gently pushing over, say, Antelope Valley, and you're going to do a streak from, say, San Fernando to Bakersfield and back and forth like a typewriter, that whole line just covers the whole Antelope Valley with the breeze. So that's,
yeah. I mean,
like I said, I've dove in pretty deep, but that's like my own rational, like how you would do
not
it.
at all.
Because
people were talking about gridding, like seeing a grid of
Yeah,
airplanes making a grid, right?
Yeah. Don't cross the streams like Ghostbusters.
Exactly. Don't do that. Do you think Brock, do you think that something is being done for psychological manipulation?
No.
Be honest. Okay.
No, I don't. It's too much, because
it's population control.
I think it possibly could be population control. Like, look, you're going to spray that much aluminum over the states, a certain amount of the week are going to die, and it's like, well, who the fuck cares, because we're overpopulated anyway, right? It's like how
Bill Gates. Okay.
Yeah, Bill Gates. Yeah, we're overpopulated. Let me control the vaccine development. But so I don't think it's done for psychological. I think it's done. It's hard, because at the same time, I don't think that we can alter the Earth's climate that much, because there's lots of climate change is very, very arguable. It's not proven science. So
oh no,
it's climate change is proven. It's changing, but man-made climate change, it's not cut and dry.
Proven.
It's but by who and by what and by by academia.
Well, I just dedicated 10 years of my life to man-made climate change. So you're right. I'm wrong.
No, that's not what I think. I think it is arguable. I think it's arguable.
No, it's not.
Because Al Gore has been saying, let me just tell you. Okay, hold on, because this is good. This is good. Al Gore has been saying for the past 10 years, every 10 years, that the world is going to end in 10 years. He's been saying this.
Al Gore's an idiot.
I'm just saying.
That's inconvenient.
There's a lot of AOC said 6 years ago that the world's going to end in 12. You're like, there's always a crisis that the world's ending. We're all going to die. It's a pandemic.
Scientists have said it's going to take thousands and thousands of years, right? We're just seeing it. But man is absolutely contributing to it. 100%. Absolutely. The way we live our lives.
What if we go into an ice age? Because just bear with me for what if we go into an ice age because that's just what's going to happen to our planet, and it has nothing to do with what we did, you know? How
I guess that could happen.
It's
sure.
a vast
But right now, it's indisputable that the way we live our lives creates temperature change, right?
Right.
Just like we saw during the pandemic when more people were staying at home, there were changes already being made.
Oh yeah.
We affect our environment. There's no doubt
Right.
about it, right?
Yeah,
I
no,
think
I
that
agree.
an
I
ice
agree.
age could happen. An ice age could happen. Absolutely, 100%.
But we're supposed
I do
to.
think we contribute to our environment.
Yeah, but here's the thing: is not cut and dry in the fact that it used to be global warming, and now it's climate change because they're like, well, shit, maybe the planet's not just heating up, you know, because there's lots of changing. Today is 10 degrees cooler than it was last year today, and I know it's June gloom. There's a lot going on, but it's there's so many variables that it's not just cut and dry. I will agree that tailpipes of airplanes and cars and factories are probably bad for the planet. I think we all can agree on that. What I don't agree is that my life, like I don't agree that I need to stop eating burgers because cow farts are gonna make the glaciers melt. I don't buy it.
Can I tell you guys something super
Is
crazy?
that a thing? Is that a cow
Oh,
fart?
yeah.
Is that a thing?
Yes.
You gotta get woke, man. You get woke.
No,
Yeah.
we need to. No, we have to eat. We have to eat more cows. I need everyone to eat more burgers because their gases cause pollution.
Oh, so we got to eat them up fast.
Yes, I'm all about eating.
So less milk, more burgers. Sounds good. I can't drink milk anyway.
I can't drink milk.
You guys,
Rock and I are the same person.
Let me just tell you.
Crazy. You have to hear something crazy about the whole burger thing. And I know a little bit about this just because my husband is like super big into like the Beyond Burger and all of this other stuff and trying to
don't do
we're
it.
all about saving the planet. The Beyond Burger friggin' sucks. I'm sorry. It sucks. I don't care. It is like dog food.
It's dude, the Beyond Burger has more estrogen than birth control in it. That shit is packed with it's gonna make the soy boys.
Okay,
all right,
but
I'll stop.
let me get back to my
point. I don't know anything
so
about it.
So really quick, okay, so everybody thinks that they're doing all these like vegetarians, I'm sorry, but they think they're doing like a service to the planet by not eating meat. And yeah, probably there's gonna be a better way to do this, but they are killing all the rainforests so they can build like all these soybean.
I know. I was reading about that a couple of weeks ago.
Sad.
I thought it was so interesting. Also, my son made a very good point the other day, and he said, I don't understand vegetarians not eating meat because they like love animals. He said, animals eat animals. Like they don't care.
That's a good point.
I'm like, that's an excellent point, and you're brilliant. Everyone else is dumb.
Well, they say that our brain didn't develop till we started eating meat. So I don't think you gotta devour a double Western bacon cheeseburger every day.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. We all need to eat it every day.
You know what I've noticed lately? I've been on this fasting kick where like maybe every other day I'll skip lunch.
Intermittent fasting.
Intermittent fasting, yeah, and
it's excellent.
I've noticed
for you.
It's fucking terrible. And
it's very good for you.
It is good for you, but I have noticed like some days if I fast and say my body I didn't have enough nutrients the day before or leading up to the fast, I'll get some splitting headaches that that maybe I think they're tension headaches or something from bending my neck. And then I'll go eat lunch and say, fuck it, I'm not fasting. I'll go get a burger or a sandwich or whatever, and then bam, headache's gone within 20 minutes.
Yes, so, I feel that.
Yeah.
So lesson is eat all the meat, never fast. Yeah.
Can I do a plug for Jack in the Box? The other day I went to Jack in the Box, and check it out. It's
They're
good.
sponsoring us now?
I'm gonna fucking drive there tonight. They have a double like a Western bacon cheeseburger, like what Carl's Jr. is famous for.
Oh, I saw that.
It's smaller, like it's like a kid-sized patty, but it's a double. It's fucking better than the Western.
It's so good.
It's good. And
it's so good.
The whole combo is $4.99. So
I'm a big Western fan, so I'll have to check that out. I'll have to check that out. So, hey, okay, you guys. So that YouTube video that I told you about earlier when we first started talking. So the whole argument for like the chemtrails versus the contrails is like the environment and the weather and the humidity and da 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 da. So I wanted something, 2020 as close to today as we could. But I found this thing. It happened on March 9th, which is my birthday, yo. So March 9th, 2020. It's on YouTube. It's put out by Gavin McLeeman. He's real small. He doesn't have that many followers or anything, but it's the title is Best Chemtrail Contrail Side by Side Comparison at the Washington Monument. So what it is, it's off of the distance you can see like half of the Washington Monument, and there's like two planes flying side by side, same direction. It looks like they're identical, going in the same direction. One chemtrail is like bright white. It's like you can see it. It's like totally crazy. And then the other one, which is the contrail, it's basically this itty bitty little tail, and it's like disappearing as the plane flies.
Yes, it's gone. Yeah, every 10 feet, when it looks like 10 feet, it's gone.
And when I
we
saw
can
that,
see this video. We can see this video, and it shows it. Okay.
And it's dated. I mean, it says Best Chemtrail Contrail Comparison. You can look it up. Washington Monument. We'll probably bring it up too. It's totally bananas. So when I saw that, I'm like, okay, now how am I going to play the devil's advocate with this? Because their whole main argument is you have to have perfect conditions, and you have to have this and that. I mean, maybe these two planes weren't exactly in the same area, but it's like you're flying in the same sky. I mean, you can't be like one part of the sky is humid, and the other side isn't. So it's totally that really just was crazy.
And here's what's really hard, Timo. The hardest thing, because the cool thing about conspiracies is they educate the shit out of you, because you dive into them and you learn both sides, and you're like, wow, I learned something new here, I learned something new there. There's a lot of different types of jet engines, and some of the byproducts produce a lot more ice in certain climates than others, and so there is a lot of proof. Here's one interesting little tidbit. Have you ever noticed on the news when you see the radar and they show you the live radar, like, we're watching the news, right? And we get this
live Doppler.
We get the radar, right? And like it looks like your kid made it on Microsoft Paint, like the 1990 version, right?
It's
like,
very fancy.
Can someone give me some detail here? So I always wondered, why aren't they showing live radar? Because they have it. Let's see the live sky.
That's a no-no.
Because you might see a lot of crisscross fries up there, right? And so there's some news clips which you might stumble on, it's on the deep rabbit hole dives that you'll find this is like there's weathercasters or weathermen, weatherwomen, and they'll be like, oh, and they might have a live radar, and you'll see it looks like a crisp cut fry off in the corner, and they're like, you might notice these lines over here. That's military planes producing chaff, conducting military exercises, and then onto the puppy that can eat ice cream. It's like.
So true.
Another thing too. Check this out. If you have most weather apps, for example, I have AccuWeather, which uses the Doppler 7. I think it's linked up with Channel 7 News. You can pull up a live radar for weather. So when precipitation's coming, you can see where it's fucking pouring, and you can see where it just finished, and it's pretty accurate. What you cannot see is there's no cloud cover. Live weather radar, and I've had lots of different weather apps to try and prove it myself right. So we'll have a day that is just all clouds, all white, covered, and then you pull up the radar and it just shows completely blank blue skies, and you're like, what's going on here? I'm looking up, I'm looking at my phone, and I have two different things, so there's a gray area. And what's everybody doing nowadays?
They're on Facebook.
Everybody's head is cocked at a 45-degree angle, even at the fucking red light, guys. You look over. How many times do you miss the green light because Joe Schmo in front of you is checking his Facebook messages? It might have been me. I don't know.
He has to check the messages.
Yeah, and so everybody's looking down. Our lives are encapsulated in this phone, and our family and friends, we can really get in tune with the world without even looking around and seeing what's going on in front of our face. So I think we're at a dangerous time, especially our younger generation, where kids are really diving into the media to see about life and things and trends instead of just like talking to people, looking around, like asking someone what they think, starting up a political conversation with someone that they might disagree with or whatever. Like we've moved so far that it's like the perfect timing to fuck with all the citizens and the population and just watch them like sheep run around and fight each other and argue. And what do they say? Divide and conquer, right? I really believe that dividing and conquering it is a great way to control the population, because the few can not control the many, but they can with fear and with manipulation. But physically they can't. We would outnumber them, right? But we will never all agree enough to start a movement to overcome the elites that control, the world. So,
but I'm tired. I don't have time.
Yeah.
I can't go against the government.
Well, right now, going against the government is kind of a hot topic right now, right?
So hot right now.
Yeah. It's so in.
That's hot.
That's hot, man. You know who I like? I have a super duper crush on Denzel Washington, and there's like a video of him talking about being misinformed. He said, if you are trying to be informed by looking things up or going on social media, guess what? You are misinformed.
And then what was his other thing that he said? You're either misinformed or uninformed.
That's right.
And so you have to gather it all and make your own decision.
I dig that, man. I dig it.
He's a smart dude.
You guys. Did you come across the Alexa chemtrail thing?
No, but Alexa is trying to take over the world for sure.
You guys, I'm going to read this to you. So it's on YouTube, so you can actually hear it. So there's an Alexa. It's probably the little Echo Dot or whatever it is, right? And it's a gentleman, and I think he's speaking in a British accent, but I'm not sure. And he's like, Alexa, what are chemtrails? And this is Alexa's answer. No shit. This was on the camera. Chemtrails. Trails left by aircraft are actually chemical or biological agents deliberately sprayed at high altitudes for a purpose undisclosed to the general public in clandestine programs directed by government officials.
Ooh, do you guys want me to go ask her?
Yes.
Bananas.
Do it.
Okay.
Let's go ask Alexa ourselves. Let's hear it.
Dude,
Let's hear it from that robot mouth.
that's so crazy.
Hold
to
on,
me.
because I don't know if you guys will be able to hear her if I have the headphones in though.
You can do it.
All right, I'm gonna get real close to her.
We're hearing your voice, so we should be able to hear her.
Oh, right. Okay, what am I gonna ask her?
Alexa,
yeah,
what are chemtrails?
Okay, Alexa, what are chemtrails?
The chemtrail conspiracy theory based on the erroneous belief that long-lasting condensation trails are chemtrails. The condensation trails are line-shaped clouds produced by aircraft engine exhaust or changes in air pressure, typically at aircraft cruise altitudes several miles above the Earth's surface. Contrails are composed primarily of water, in the form of ice crystals.
That's it.
Look, she's woke. She shot you down before you could even get in there.
Alexa knew you were coming.
Yeah.
Knew you were gonna ask.
Dre, remember I told you you're on the list, and they're fucking with you now. Yeah.
Alexa's laughing at herself right now for getting over on you.
What was the first thing she said? Erroneous. So the first thing she did was
Erroneous.
the idea.
Erroneous.
Yep.
All right, y'all. So let's get down to it. What do we think? What's the final verdict here?
I don't know. Yeah,
Well,
on
I'll
the
tell you
fence.
what. You can't
I'm on the
form it yet
fence.
because you haven't downloaded the app, so you got to get Flight Radar 24.
You need the app.
Yeah.
Just watch the sky and look up and see what you see, and just check when you see that plane dumping that thick white milky cloud. Just check it.
That creamy cloud.
Trail.
Yeah.
Well, this is the wrong podcast.
But you know what, you guys? I've always said that, like, okay, so I'm in my 40s, maybe towards the end of my 40s. And yeah, I'm like the oldest one in the crew here. And I'm pissed because I still get fucking acne like bananas. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I've always said that
It's hormones.
I can eat
Are you
right.
Italian?
I can do this. I can do whatever, right? But I still get it. I can wash my face perfectly. I still get it. It's the fucking environment. The environment is doing it to me. And now I understand like some of the background to this is like, okay, it could be true. Like it's raining, not men, which I would like it to be raining men, but it's raining aluminum and barium and all this fucking crap on me. And it's giving me my acne.
How about Alzheimer's? One of the big causes of Alzheimer's is right, heavy metal poisoning and things like that.
Yeah, it's giving people that too, which is, and they're younger
well,
diagnosed people.
Are you Italian?
I'm not. I'm
See,
Spanish though.
You know
Spanish.
you know why Italians don't have pimples, right?
Why?
They slide right off.
Oh
that was from a gross jokes book in the 90s.
Great, thanks, Rock. That was beautiful.
That was beautiful.
The joys of having a man on
if I knew any Italians, they'd be like, I take that as a compliment. You know,
we love it. We love the joke. Yep. I love Italians. I love them. I think that well, I think airplanes are polluting, obviously. Mm-hmm. there's that science, right? We know it's happening. It's killing thousands of people a year. That's terrifying. I would not put it past our government or NASA or MIT or any of those people doing things without our knowledge, right? We know that they've done it in the past. When somebody shows you who they are, believe them, right? They have done these things in the past. I would not put it past them to do it now or in the future. You know, knowledge is knowing that you know nothing, and I don't know.
Let me ask you guys this. We've been told many times that climate change is the most existential threat to our civilization, right? You've all heard that's the biggest threat we face. Okay. Remember when terrorism was the biggest threat we faced? Remember when terrorism was pumped on the news for 2 years straight and there was always a terrorist in your backyard, and, you know, anyone who is from, you know, Pakistan or, you know, Iraq or wherever might be a terrorist. And maybe remember the whole terrorist scare in the United States, probably a big scam, right? Do you think that if climate change is the biggest threat we face, do you think the government would ask our permission to battle climate change? If it's the biggest, like, do you think the government asks our permission to battle terrorists? No.
To go on quarantine for 3 fucking months?
They get it done. They do what they do. So do you really think that they're going to send out a pamphlet or a survey and say, do you agree with chemtrails? Are you okay with us spraying this? We're going to cool the planet. And, you know, your summers won't be so hot. Do you think they're going to ask our permission? No, they're going to fucking do it. See what happens.
I don't think it's a good, I'm going to back up here. I don't think it's a fair comparison to compare it to terrorism, right? We had terrorist attacks. There were terrorist things that happened. We were all obviously scared because terrorism is real, and because the government, we knew, were taking steps and actions to fight terrorism, right? We all knew that. They didn't ask our permission. We were all for them fighting, right, in that way.
Yeah, like when we went to Iraq because they had weapons of mass destruction.
Right.
Like we went to war, and then there was no weapons of mass destruction.
Right, but we knew it, right? We knew it. So that wasn't like a secret. We knew that that's what they were doing. I think that they would do things without our okay.
Yes,
right?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. So for the record, I think that there are trails taking place that are not just condensation. Unfortunately, I'm not testing samples, and I'm not a scientist, so I'm going to have to just be kind of a victim of what it is. I mean, we're all breathing it if they are. It's just like quarantine. We're all locked down. Let's make the best of it and do a drive-by fucking graduation parade. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't really care because, like I said, if our whole town's going to go up in smoke and we'll all be together and we're all still going to love each other and love our kids. And so be it, you know. But if we find out that the government's spraying shit to try and battle climate change, but they're poisoning our lungs, like they want to save the planet. Have you noticed they want to save? They want to save the planet.
It'd be a shit show.
Yeah, they don't want to save the population. They want to save the planet.
Right.
Okay, so there a lot of documents. There's government documents, and I won't go too far, that talk about preparing for a post-human world. Right? There's documents and government things about that. And look up the UN Agenda 2030, the UN Agenda 21. There's a lot of United Nations.
Where only like a certain percent would be left. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, the elites. It's going to be rich, poor, and then it's going to be robots.
I do feel elite. So I'm okay.
I'm kind of a
Is that
big
what
deal.
you're saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm kind of on a podcast.
So you're gonna make it. Well, we all might make it to the space donut while all the peons are left on Earth. Where's my Pellegrino?
Yes, Pellegrino.
Have some Grey Poupon.
I think I am continuously shocked to find out the things that I find out. You know what I mean? So I can't put anything past anything. Does that make sense?
What do you guys think about Greta? You guys know
Who's
Greta.
Greta? She sounds like a bitch. No, I don't know who Greta is.
Yes, you do. Greta Thunberg.
Greta Thunberg.
The little climate change
called
girl.
that little girl a bitch. I think she's a little kid who
little sweetheart.
Is that the how dare you girl? How dare you?
Yeah. She feels passionately about, you know, obviously the climate, but I think she was a little over the top, and maybe her parents should have said no to
just
some
a little
interviews.
Bit. Yeah.
Maybe Greta, you stay home this time.
How about this? How about what if she was a pawn, and the reason that she's been broadcast to the world, because I know a lot of 6-year-olds who are passionate about random weird shit and they're not broadcast to the world, but Greta was, because her message was in line with their message, right? But here's the one thing about kids: you can't insult them and you can't knock them, or you're the bad guy. So when you use children in a position to generate public opinion, it's kind of like a good way to just snuff out any opposition. Like, how dare you talk? She's just a child, you know? So careful about Greta. I just want you guys to know, I think Greta is
We'll watch out. We'll watch out.
You keep an eye on her.
I think
Wait,
that.
Have you seen when they, sorry, this is so funny. Have you seen when they take the Olympic divers, their picture, and they Photoshop it with someone sitting on the toilet? Like when they're tucked and they're doing a spin.
Oh my gosh.
No. Oh my God.
Look it up. Look it up.
I don't know. He's so gross, Rock.
Where did that come from?
All this grossy-dosy stuff. Come on.
We were talking about Greta.
I know, but you gotta check it out. Look up.
Where did it come from?
I don't know. It just popped in, but it's good. You got to look up Olympic divers faces.
I don't know, but it's good. Go with it.
It's good. Yeah.
Okay.
Are we winding down?
Yes.
Because I have a riddle. I just want to.
Okay.
I have a riddle for you guys. Yeah.
Okay. Right. I want to hear what Dre thinks on this. Right.
Yeah.
We'll finish up with that.
I'm so freaking torn, guys. I'm so freaking torn. You guys know that I'm Miss Sciencey, you know, like I love all things science, and I want to believe it all because I have a good heart, and I want to believe that everybody else has a good heart too. So,
me too, girl.
You know, I'm like,
too.
oh yeah, you know, like fight climate change and, you know, get rid of the CO2. Like, let's grab it all in the vacuums and bury it in the ground. And I want to believe science, but then I read all this stuff and I'm like, man, it's fucking convenient that these contrails or these chemtrails can be mixed in with the contrails.
You never know.
I would never know, and I'm like devastated. So I don't think that I have an opinion as of this moment because I feel like I need to learn more. And that's
okay. That is okay.
I'll tell you one thing.
That my heart gets broken like every single week.
I know. Like every week I'm all, wait, what?
You know what? The the truth hurts. And I don't know if it's the
Ah.
truth, but it's not always sugar coated and fun. I mean, come on, you guys know it's with anything in life. Like the nitty gritty is sometimes dirty and dark and creepy. I mean,
Yeah.
But
even
so interesting.
our own government, half the wars we've been in. Do you guys know that the Vietnam War started on false information, and it's in the Freedom of Information Act?
Yes.
Yeah.
All of the Vietnam vets.
Thank you, Miss Dorley.
Yeah.
I think I learned that from Rock on one of our episodes. I think that's where I heard that from.
Yeah,
You're
the
an
Gulf
educator,
of
Rock.
Tonkin.
That's what you
Right.
are.
There's a lot more, guys. This is, remember what I always say, problem,
More to
reaction,
come.
solution. Sometimes the people who are offering the solution created the problem, waited for your reaction, and look, oh, we have this solution over here. Do you guys want this? Because this happens to fit the puzzle perfectly. That looks like a good solution, you know? So you just got to be careful. Just think twice, you know?
Absolutely.
Turn the fucking TV off and, you know, love your family, talk to your friends, and
No, I don't want to do that.
think for yourself, you know? No?
Okay. I do what I want. Okay.
I do what I want.
All right, y'all. Let's hear this.
Are you ready for the riddle? Okay.
Yeah. I want to write it down as you say it, so I
Okay.
can really think it in.
Cool.
What's black and white and red all over?
A
Give up
newspaper.
a sunburned zebra. All right, sorry.
A newspaper.
Oh, you didn't let us guess.
I know.
It was just a dad joke. I had to sneak it in. All right,
Dad
Timo,
joke.
you got the reins.
All right. You see a boat filled with people. It has not sunk.
You
But
can't
when
write
you-
this down.
I'll text it to you.
I already did.
But when you look again, you don't see a single person on the boat. Why?
Okay, don't guess, you guys.
No cheaters.
We'll follow this up.
So I'm so stoked that people were given answers on Instagram. So we are on Instagram, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter. Shoot those answers to us, and Timo will tell you if you're right or not. Guess what? We're on TikTok now. Ho, 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 boop, boop.
Are we?
Yeah,
We are.
TikTok.
I'm heading up the
Yes.
TikTok. Right now, I'm just doing cute little like memory videos of us. But once we're back in studio, we will be rocking the live 60-second videos, y'all. It'll be
Oh my
fun.
gosh.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
Crazy.
Love it.
All right, are we ready?
I think so.
You ready?
Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3. We have questions. It sounds awful this week. It sounds awful.
That was good.
I love it.
I was
Good job, you
feeling that.
guys.
It was great.
Well, that was good. Good job, you guys. Good
It's the
job.
chemtrails messing with our brains.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, I can't make that
That's
sound.
Do it.
that's
God. Are you
I wish I could do it.
I'm gonna practice. I'm gonna
I
practice.
can't do any of
Yeah, I
those
can't do
things.
that one
Me
either.
neither.
Yeah, no.
Oh, why can't
I got all kinds of
we?
tricks, guys. I could juggle. I mean, come on. I could do all kinds of stuff.
Juggle. You guys, why can't we be like Ron?
I know.
wanna do
He's
that.
so
I want to do that. All right, y'all. Good job.
good. Okay.
All right.
It's night time.
Yeah.
Good
It's time for us to go
night.
night night.
Okay, night
Okay.
night.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys. Have a good
Bye.
night.
Bye 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 bye.
Night night. Bye.
Handcuffs and Sage is hosted by Red, Timo, and Trey in a shitty guest room in Los Angeles.
Theme music is Leave Now by We Are Wasted. Cover art done by Megan Winchester. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Show us some love on iTunes. Be a badass and do what you want. Until next time.